Hey y'all, it's Jeannie and welcome back to the Now Girl podcast. So y'all, this is the part 2 of the 20 things that we learned in our 20s so far. Y'all, it took longer than we thought to go through the first
It really
10.
did. Yes, girl.
Um so yeah, we had to make a part 2. So Lauren, tell them some of the stuff we touched on in part 1.
So we touched majority on friendships, our mental health, how we're dealing with it, what we do to deal with it, self-care items, um, stuff that keeps our body in check, just everything around the same things, mental health wise, focusing on
Yeah.
being true to ourselves, that type of stuff. You know? But I
Yeah.
believe we pick it back on the list. You begin.
Yes.
Is where we're at.
So this is number 11 on our list. And my number 11 is focus on building relationships with people who are actually worth it. So, what I mean by that, and y'all, we probably gonna touch on parts that we talked about in part 1. So, make sure you go listen to part 1 and then come back
Yes.
listen to part 2. But what I mean by focusing on building relationships with people who actually are worth it, like sometimes for me personally, I had got to a point where I kind of was neglecting relationships, friendships, where I shouldn't, focused on friendships and other things that were not really reciprocating to me, like the
Uh,
same energy I was putting out.
yeah, you
And
reciprocate.
instead of me focusing on the people that actually were giving me the same energy that I was giving them, I was focused on like people that maybe not wasn't giving me like the same stuff that I kind of expected or wanted or whatever, and people that just wasn't started to not become right for me. I was focused way more on those
Uh
people
huh.
than the people that actually mean the most, the people that actually stayed with me, the people that were
Hmm.
like I said, people that were worth it. But
Yeah.
don't like I had to not focus on people that don't mean me no good, people that aren't worth my time, aren't worth, me at all. Like it's hard and you don't be realizing that those people aren't worth your time and energy until something happens.
And like you see yourself coming out of it, then you're like, well, you
Yeah,
know.
like yeah, it's hard to do that, especially when you're trying to fight for friendships or even relationships with your family. Like it's so hard to get caught up in different things and different people that you neglect and forget about the people that are really for you, the people that have always been in your corner. And I did that. Um, I've done it a couple of times throughout my life, but I really learned that lesson in my 20s. Like you
Mm-hmm.
need to really focus your energy, focus your time on those people that are worth it, the people that mean the most to you, the people that show you that they actually care about you, that they actually want to see you win, that they actually, you know, care just overall care about you in all aspects, not just but it's like also it's the actions as well. It's not just what they say out of their mouth, but the actions are showing you that they care about you. Like
Yep.
focus on those people and leave the people that you always are getting into arguments with all the time. People that are
Petty
always causing
drama.
you, yeah, petty drama. Like people that are always causing you just all sorts of just drama and just mayhem and just like
Girl,
relationships
I like to
are
put it
just
as like heartburn of just like, this stuff you don't need that. Like, what I'm saying?
yes,
It's just
yes.
like, why do I have to put up with you and I really don't, I don't have to.
Yeah, like relationships and friendships are definitely hard sometimes, and you have points in your friendships and relationships where you go through things and it's hard, and y'all might have to work through something. But overall, your friendships and relationships should not be to the point where it's causing you your mental health, where it is affecting different parts of your life. Like if you and your friend always arguing all the time, or you and your significant other always arguing all the time, y'all not it's not being fixed, like it's draining you and you're not getting nothing out of a relationship like that you used to, then you need to just like let it go. Like just put your energy into people that are worth it. Like that's just how you this is overall just put your energy into people that are worth your time, that
Mm-hmm.
you know that care about you, that you know that want to see you win, like I said. So yeah, that's kind of something I learned. And I think I've that lesson is probably the one that I for sure I can say I really learned. Like
Uh
even
huh.
with family members, like the family members that do not put the effort, or I feel like are just not giving, like they actually care about me, like they say one thing and do another. Like my relationship with them, I'm not focused on those relationships. Like those relationships are like whatever. I'm focused on the
Yeah.
people that have been with there for me, that like show me that they're there for me. Like especially now since I had my son, like you listen, pregnancy in any life altering thing that happens to you shows you who is really there for you and who is really not there for you. And being pregnant, going through my pregnancy, I mean shoot, now having my son, you see the people that is genuinely there for you, that really care about you, really appreciate you, like really want to help you. Like those are the people you should be focused on, not the others. Not the others.
Uh uh
But yeah,
Mm.
that's my
Yeah.
next one
Where
on the
you coming
list.
from? Yeah. All right. So mine, for my, it's number 12 for me. So mine would be stop comparing yourself to others, which is something
Mm-hmm.
I still, girl, because I still struggle on that one every day. Because honestly, it really ruins your mental health when you're more focused about what somebody else is doing in their lane than what you're doing in yours. Um, right now I'm trying to occupy my mind and like my space of what God has for me is for me, but it's very
Mm-hmm.
hard because like you see, your friend from high school, she married, got 3 kids, big house, living a life that you thought she was gonna have, but like it's not here yet. So you're like, you know what, am I doing something wrong, or what am I supposed to do, like how can I get
Mm-hmm.
there? And then like you get into this whole entire, like I feel like I get into like this whole entire downward spiral of like I'm missing out on something that I'm supposed to been had. And like it took me some self-realization of like, well, maybe you're just not ready for that yet. You don't have it
Mm-hmm.
because you're not ready for it. Because I really think about it, I'm like, could I really, like, in like me right now, I said, could I mentally handle having 3 kids right now at this day and point?
Mm-hmm.
Like, could I handle being responsible for my kid's life, making sure like my husband has his lunch packed, something like, could I really handle that and making sure that I'm straight? And like, I think that that's one of my biggest things of like, I think that I'm learning of 2023 of
Mm-hmm.
being comfortable of where I am right now. Because, like COVID really took a lot from us. Like you really don't have, you really had no space and time. Like it literally took, I want to say 2 birthdays from us. So we really missed our 23 and our 23, 24. That those years for us, we didn't have those birthdays. And those are kind of like
Mm-hmm.
still like us developing how we're going in our 20s. So we're still, you think about it, we're still learning how to navigate this world, and we're expected to know how to navigate it at 25. And it's very hard. But like I also, when I'm in that space of like where I'm comparing myself to others, I got to realize that a picture is just a picture. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I do not know the struggle that it took for them to get to that point of them where they got the 3 kids and they've been married for, since they've been fresh out of high school, and they got this big house. I don't know the
Yeah.
struggle. It could, like I don't know. I'm like, I'm praying to be like them. And what if their whole entire journey was him cheating on her 3, 4, 5 times before they got it together? Something that I'm praying for that, where
Mm-hmm.
I should be praying for when it's my time, it is my time, and I will understand your timing when it gets here. So,
Yeah.
that's where I am currently.
Yeah, I get that. It's so hard to not like compare yourself to people, like you were saying. Like you be like, darn, like I thought I was gonna be here at this point. I thought I was gonna be here at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something I feel like is gonna always be not a struggle, but something that you always have to keep telling yourself and learn, like as a person, because
Mm-hmm.
is I think it's human nature to kind of compare or kind of look at it. But you said something that I was thinking too, because I seen a TikTok about it. I heard it somewhere, and it was like you don't know what people have gone through to get
Yep.
to where they are at. And
Yep.
we see it like, oh, she got this, she got that, but we don't know how many
Mm-hmm.
sleepless nights she had. And you
Yep.
kind of got to put into perspective, because think about the things that you have in your life and the struggle that you went to through to get to the point,
Of where,
where
yeah, of where
you
you
are.
are.
Because like
Yeah.
I think of it like me, I keep saying like 100 times, like I am not 100% where I want to be in my career at all, and that has
Uh-huh.
been a very huge struggle for me. And I look at people around me, I'm like, bro, they're in their career, they're doing this, they're doing that, but I also have to keep in mind that everybody has a different path, and what the
Yep.
Lord wants me to go through is what He wants me to go through, because it's going to be a point where I do get the job that I want and making the
Mm-hmm.
money that I want, and people gonna see that and be like, oh, I wish. Not saying me in particular, I'm saying,
But well, no, I
me for
get, I
example.
understand. Yeah, I
Like
get what you're saying.
I wish that, oh, I'm like, oh dang, like she making this much money and she doing this, like that's such a cool
Mm-hmm.
job. Like I want to do something like that, not knowing that it took me years to
Exactly. That's
get
all.
to the point,
That's
years of
exactly what I was
struggle,
just about to say.
years
Like,
of doing jobs that I didn't want to do, years. And so like that's kind of where I am. And then also sometimes people don't be honest about like their life, and
yep.
they kind of
How?
glitz and
Mm-hmm.
glam it. And I know like there's some part, a part of that is just human nature and just social media
Wanting to
age.
have
Like
a one up. Yeah.
yeah, like I'll tell anybody, like I always say, like my life is what it's supposed to be at the moment. My life is not perfect. It ain't never been. It
Mm-hmm.
never will be. I have shown, yes, as much as I love being a mom and being a wife and having this role, it is a lot sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, Lord, how did I get here? Like not in a bad way, but I'm just saying, like you be
Yeah.
like,
Like,
bro, like it's cool, it's fun. I love who I am, where I am, but like sometimes I'm like, Lord, like this is a lot.
this look
Like
too much.
this is a little too much. But then I'm like, Lord, this is where you want me. This is who I'm supposed to be. This is where I am. Like I'm not perfect. Like there's always
Mm-hmm.
going to be some part of my life that I want improvement in,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of have gotten to the point now where it do. I still have times, like you said, where I do kind of like compare, but then I kind
Uh-huh.
of take a step back and be like, how we were saying, like you never know what them people did to get
Yep.
to where they are, and like you have to think about your time is coming, and the journey that the Lord wants for you is what He wants for you. Like I keep saying, I don't want no blessing that the Lord did not give me. I'm not trying to jump
Mm-hmm.
into nothing prematurely. I
Nope.
want the Lord to give that to me, and because when I do get it, I don't want to lose it. And if I do lose it, I know that that's God's will and plan. But I'm saying, like, a lot of times we do stuff and go into stuff, and that's not what God intended us to do, and we end up flat on our face every time.
Yep.
We're all
It
guilty of it,
just
and you're gonna still do it. But yeah, like I think I like that. I like that. I didn't put that on my list, but yeah, you're right about that.
Mhm.
That self
Yeah,
comparison stuff.
because
Oof,
it's girl, it's the devil.
it
It's the devil,
is.
and then it's
It's the
also
devil.
then it's also one of those times where like you don't realize it too that other people are comparing themselves to you. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
Like there's somebody who's not in the same spot as you. Like it may be somebody who you graduate with who doesn't have a job, like who doesn't have a family,
Mm,
who doesn't have, something big or like living on their own. Like, they're not doing that yet. They're like, dang, she doing that. And I'm wishing to be like the other person, somebody wishing to be like me. And it's just like,
right. It's a never ending cycle.
it's really a never ending cycle, which is, we're in that day and age of social media trying to paint the best picture and make sure everything looks good on the outside versus y'all know what's
Yeah.
going on the inside for real.
Yeah,
So
that's why, like, with our platform, like, we talked about this, like, before we really got into it. Like, these are the type of conversations we always have regularly anyway. But we was like, we want to come into this and be as authentic as we possibly can and tell y'all, like, the real, like, stuff that we still struggle with, stuff that we're going through. Like, this is, like, real. Like, self comparison is something that almost everybody struggle with at any point in life.
yep,
But it is once you start to actually kind of learn and put stuff into perspective, you like, okay, but this is definitely something that you're gonna constantly kind of, you know, every
yep.
part of life,
It's
it don't matter.
you're gonna have a stage, whether it's just something minute or if it's
Right.
something big. Like you're gonna try to compare yourself to somebody else. It happens.
Right. And then like it could be it you could be just in such an emotional state that you just start comparing yourself like with your
Yep.
anxiety, like you just be like, Lord, but yeah. But for me, number what's this, 12 on the list?
13.
Wait,
'Cause I did 12. You got 13.
right. Now look at me losing count. You was the one that was
See?
losing count at first.
See?
Now let's see. Oh my lord. But yeah,
See?
so number what is it, 13?
13.
For me, number 13 is
For me.
to for me to really live your life to the fullest. And like that is such a cliche saying, but it is so true because I have not seen. I mean, obviously, I've never been this age before, but there are so many people that have been our age and that have been younger. People that we've been to school with, people that we know, people that we don't know, that have lost their lives literally, and they're so young,
Mm-hmm.
and it just every time something happens, it just shows you how short life really is. Like all you have is this one life, and you need to live it to the fullest. Now, it's gonna be parts of
Yep.
life where you don't feel like living it to the fullest, like how we were saying in the first episode about like your mental health. Like there's gonna be points in life where you're not, but you always have to kind of keep that in mind and put that into perspective. Like you never really know when your last day on earth is.
Yep.
And the only thing that you know that you can do is try to live your life the best way you possibly can. Now, everybody's living life to the fullest is not the same. Some people live life to the fullest is like, I'm gonna party, I'm gonna do all this stuff. Some other people's living life to the fullest is like living just a meaningful life overall. Like it might be helping others. Like that might be something that's fulfilling to them, that is their definition of living their life to the fullest. For me, living my
Mm-hmm.
life to the fullest is being my best self in every aspect of my life. And, how I was saying in part one, like trying new things, making sure I'm focused on mental health, making sure I'm keeping
Yep.
people around me that matter, making sure I'm
Mm-hmm.
focused on my relationships. Like everything, really everything on this list kind of goes into really, for me, really living your life to the fullest. Like not
Mm-hmm.
taking the days that you have for granted. Know that there's gonna be some bad days. It's gonna be some days where you might cry. It's gonna be some days where you just go through it. But there's also gonna be some days where you have such high moments and you be like, is this really my life right now? Like
Yep.
such good times, and just know that life is full of good and bad, and that's kind of what it is. You can't prevent everything bad that happens to you, but you
Mm-hmm.
can. The one thing you can do is how you choose to go about things that happen to you. Like, are you going to stay in that place forever, or are you going
Yeah.
to try to work through your emotions, work through whatever you're going through, and get to that, the place where you're just happy? So that for me,
Yeah.
like I always say, the one thing I want out of life is to just overall be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean like I don't have no struggles or that I don't have nothing that I'm going through, but I just want to overall be happy, like in all aspects of my life. Like be happy, be appreciative, just yeah. So that's just one thing. It's so cliche, but just live your life. You never know when your last days are. So period.
Very true. Very true. I feel like I have that on here somewhere on the next couple. But my next one's number 14 for me. I don't know why my brain just stopped counting. 14 to me, it's something, this is something that I did not do. But I do feel like if I did it, I maybe wouldn't have maybe like just anxiety, but it's taking a gap year and knowing when you need to take a gap year or you even need to take a break from what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. There are many people when they get out of high school, they're like, I can't do high school and go straight to college. Like I need a gap year in between, or I need like a little bit of space in between before I go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
My um I had two cousins who did that exact same thing. One cousin took a gap year and is now very successful. He's in the army. He's living out in a different place with his wife and two kids, and he's doing pretty good for himself. Then I had another cousin who was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a gap year," and he took his gap year, and he's not where he's supposed to be. We'll just say that. A gap year is not a horrible thing. Don't let people scare you into thinking that it's a terrible thing. You're never going to get your life back on track. If you're determined and you have that drive, you will get your life back to where you want it. Okay, a gap year doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's literally
Mm-hmm.
just like a break, a breath in between. Because honestly, you're coming straight out of high school and you got to go to another 4 years of college. That's a lot. And then vice versa, you're coming high school, college, and then you're looking for a job as soon as you exit college, you're forced into the workplace because you have no money.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what am I supposed to do? It is okay to take a gap year. And then on top of that, it is okay to live with your parents. That's another thing I remember seeing on Twitter, where it's just like a lot of people, like when they graduated college, they felt like they couldn't go back home because they felt like they would be unsuccessful living with their
Mhm.
family because they thought that if you went back home and lived with your family, it shows that you don't have money, you're weak, you failed, you're a failure. That doesn't mean that. I stayed with my parents for what, 3 years, and yeah, pandemic
Mhm.
hit. I get that, but like, even if I think I wanted to move last year, but I was like, that's probably not a smart idea, which it wasn't in the long run. Um, yeah, I saved my money. I didn't have to pay for. I didn't. Only thing I had to pay for was gas. They paid for food. They paid for the lights, the everything. That was them.
Mhm.
And then you have other families. Some families will make you pay rent, and what I've heard people doing, which is like I've heard some families doing, is if you pay rent, they give it back to you. Like when you're trying to kind of like they kind of had like a savings account for you, like a savings bond for you, to where you can pay it back, or they give you the money back or something like that. I mean, some families do that, some families don't. Some families require you to pay rent or something down in the house. But I was blessed enough to where my parents didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do that. But I mean,
Mhm.
don't think just because what society is telling you is a bad thing is a bad thing. Okay, it's not.
Right.
All right, it's definitely not.
Right. Yeah, and I would say too, like you saying, like, yeah, that's definitely not a bad thing. And then just kind of do whatever you feel like is best for you and like that works for you. Like, I decided to leave home once
Hmm.
I graduated college. Now this is something that was in the making for me since I was in elementary school because I know this
It
sounds so
is.
crazy, y'all. But like since I was in elementary school, like I always knew that I was gonna move away from wherever my family was. Wherever my family was, I was gonna move, away. Um, but I have a whole bunch of reasons to why I decided to do that when I did it. But I never was like opposed to staying at home 100%. Like that was never like, oh, I'm never going back home. Like I can't go back home. It was more so me saying, I know this not gonna work long term, long term
Uh-huh.
for me, and it's something that I always kind of wanted. So I was like, okay, but I knew that like whatever happened, if I had to go back home, I was gonna do that. But
Hmm.
I ended up moving, and I came back home after we graduated college for that, what, 3 months
Yep.
or
You
so,
can. Yeah, you were there for
three
like
or
three
four
months, and
months.
then.
Um,
Yep.
which was definitely that is when I will say my depression and anxiety started to get worse than it's ever been. That time period, and I think it was just the pressures. Like it was so much going on, but yeah, like do what you want to do. Like she said, like if you need a gap year, take a gap year.
He
Like
said
I
gap
didn't
year.
take a gap year personally because that's not what I wanted to do, and I
Hmm.
wanted to go straight through. But I know people that took a gap year. I know people that took a year off in the middle of college, just in general. Like
Yep.
I know
And then
people
yep.
that do whatever. And I like even if you want to get, I mean, your bachelor's is considered higher education, but if you want to go higher than that,
You get your
take
doctorate and all
some
that.
years too. If you want your master's, take some years. If you want your doctorate, take some years if that's what you want to do. Like you don't have to do everything immediately after. Like do what at the end of the day, just do what's best for you.
Hmm.
Like that's really what it boils down to. Like don't let people make you feel bad for whatever choice you make. No matter
Nope.
no matter what it is, just do you. So yeah, I agree. For me, my number, what, 15?
15.
I skipped this one before the other one,
Did you?
but the prioritizing self care, which
Oh, you did.
Lauren hit on already in part one. But mine's is kind of like a little bit different, but it's the same. And when I say prioritize self care, like really prioritize self care, that means to me do things that obviously are like calming and whatever to you, but also your appearance, the things that you want to do. Because I personally, we talked about this point just a little bit in one of the episodes. I feel like I lost myself
Uh-huh.
when I was going through like my little 2 year long little
Uh-huh.
depressive anxiety filled mode where I just
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to do my hair, I didn't want to do nothing, I didn't want to do nothing. And
Uh-huh.
I realized that I was so used to before, like getting my hair done all the time, having my nails done all the time, and I got an adult and life hit me, and then I was so like you know how like I was just suppressed, my anxiety was at the roof. It was the pandemic. It was so much going on. I
Uh-huh.
lost myself, and for me, I didn't realize how the little things like getting my hair done and getting my nails done and putting on clothes and going places helped me as a person until I wasn't doing that stuff no more. Now I'm still trying to get back also, and y'all, I was like getting out of like my depressive mood, which I'm not there. I'm not in that place anymore at all. But when I got pregnant, me trying to like, oh, like, let me do my hair, let me do this, let me do this more, let me do this, let me do this. That went downhill for me because if y'all know what pregnancy like, it's a lot. And some people that's pregnant, some women that's pregnant can do all these things and
Mm-hmm.
continue. For me, my pregnancy was very hard for me in the beginning. Like
Uh-huh.
Lauren, though, she would call me and I would be in the bed.
Sure would. It would be it would be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She would tell me, I have not moved. I said, okay. I said,
I
whatever
was
helps.
so sick. Like I never threw up. I was just nauseous every day. And that's the worst. If like I rather just throw up at that point. But yeah, like self care, like being good to yourself. Like self care can mean so much for different people. Like it's, the things that you do to help relax you. It's taking care of your
Uh-huh.
body, taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental, taking care of yourself spiritually. Like whatever it is, you
Yep.
need to prioritize you. Like I always say, you cannot be the best person you're gonna be if you just messed up altogether. Like you have to make sure that you prioritizing yourself and make sure you're doing whatever. Like how Lauren was like, she like sims for self care. She like to cook for self
Love it.
care. Whatever you
Mm-hmm.
like to do. Like for me, for self care, I love to read books. I love watching my YouTube videos, like I love
Mm-hmm.
listening to podcasts. And then a part of self care also for me, I love doing, like Lauren said, skincare routines. I love when I can
Mm-hmm.
get my hair done. That makes me feel good. Make me feel like I'm taking care
Yep.
of myself. Doing my nails or going to get my nails done. Get my yeah, I got a pedicure a couple months
And
ago after I had the baby. I was about what 4 or 5 months postpartum. Baby, that's the best pedicure I had in my entire life. I had that pedicure and
yes,
I
it
was
is.
so calm. Like
Uh-huh.
I was just so calm. But yeah, I think self care is very important. I'm learning more now, especially with everything I have going on now. Like I have to prioritize myself and doing things to help me, you know,
Yep. Yep.
relax and calm, make me feel good, make me feel confident. Uh so yeah. Y'all. What's your next
Mm-hmm.
one?
So number 16, I have prioritizing things that are important to you. Plain and simple.
Hmm.
Okay. And then I also kind of followed up with like not feeling guilty about making those things a priority. Because some
Hmm.
people make you feel guilty for having some things in your number one spot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they'll make you feel bad, they'll make you feel worthless because you value one thing over the other. Don't let nobody do that to you. Okay?
Right.
Because once again, it just makes you feel like crap. You feel horrible, you feel insecure. And it's something that you love to do. So why are you listening to somebody who has no say on what you're gonna do at the end of the day?
Hmm.
Like, that's just my whole entire thing. Like, don't let other people influence you to make a decision on your behalf. Like, this is your life. All right. Their
Right.
number one, like your number one choice and your number one decision should not be had to fall in line with somebody else. And I think you kind of spoke on that in part one when you were talking about what are you talking about? I can't think. But I feel like we literally said the same thing on that one. But like, just knowing what you want to do. It's your life. Don't let anybody
Yeah.
choose for you.
Focus. Live for yourself. That's what it was. Live for
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what business you got listening to somebody else telling you how to tie your shoes when you already know how to tie your shoes?
Right.
That type of thing. Just very simple.
Right. I like that one. Yeah. This is number 17.
Yup.
I'm. I don't know why I'm getting confused with these numbers now.
Girl,
But
I
number
realized I
17.
realized that you're odd, I'm even, girl. So think of it like that.
Okay. Okay. Good.
You
That's
said
good.
it
That's good.
helps. It helps. It helps.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So my number 17. But my 17 is to build your own relationship with God. So when I say that, first of all, go check out our episode that we posted about growing up in church.
Church.
It's a good one, y'all. It's a good one. I feel like we could really do a part two to that one too, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
But when I mean like, I mean it is what it is. It is what it is. Build your own relationship with God. So like, if you grew up in church like we did, we were kind of told certain things. Like you were told, like if you don't do this, this is gonna happen, or you should be doing this, or
Uh-huh.
you should be doing that, and that stuff is being kind of told and preached to you. But once you get older and you really sit and start to think about like life and think about things, you have to form a relationship with God for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important because it kind of really, this really goes back into like living for yourself and not others. Just because your mama or your grandma or your auntie or your uncles
In person.
do church this way and this is how they choose to praise God, like they praise God like this, they think praising God is this way, that doesn't mean you have to be the same way. Like we talked
Mm-hmm.
about us kind of like not growing, like not currently doing the things that we did in church when we grew up, like doing the same things, or maybe not raising our kids the same way. Like at the end of the day, also like I said, going back to you only, at the end of the day, you only have you. you
Yep.
only you are the only one that affects your relationship with the Lord. Like
Yep.
nobody else is gonna get you to heaven. Your pastor not gonna get you to heaven. Your mama not gonna get you to heaven. Your grandma not gonna get you to heaven.
Uh-uh.
Nobody's gonna get you to heaven. But nobody is going to build their relationship with the Lord, and you know, but you. So like, you have to make sure that your relationship with God is a personal one, and that doesn't
Uh-huh.
mean you have to have it all figured out. Because we talked about, like, I'm still trying to figure out my walk with Christ, and how, and you know how it is for me. Like the same, it's not gonna be the same
Mm-hmm.
for everybody.
And then it's also one
And
of those things that like it's not gonna be the same in like a couple years either. Like it's
right,
it's always ever changing.
right, like you're gonna grow. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have points where you are not, maybe not doing what you're supposed to do as far as with the Lord, and like you're not, it's always an ever changing thing. It's an ever growing process. Like it's always gonna be
Mm-hmm.
something that you have to put effort into and work on. And I'm learning that too as we speak. Like have my own relationship with God, and like, you know, because it's hard when, especially when you grew up in church, like you're just going by what people tell you and what people say
Uh-huh.
you should do, and not having your personal relationship. And that's the thing that's gonna get you to where you need to be. Like I think that's very important for you
Mm-hmm.
to do. Like, and that is just a goes all of every, really honestly, everything that we say in our list kind of connects to each other. That just goes
Mm-hmm.
along with just finding yourself, finding who you are, figuring things out for yourself, going through the motions, learning the lessons. Like we said, like, so at some point when I was in college, I always loved Jesus. I'm always a Christian. I ain't never said I wasn't a Christian. But I wasn't focused on building a relationship with God when I was in college and high school, and that's normal.
Yeah.
Especially for children, like we were kids, like we weren't thinking about that. But now,
That was our first big time, like, all right, now you
yeah,
gotta figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
right. That was the first time we had to kind of, we wasn't at home going to church every Sunday. We was at school,
Yeah.
and now being 26 almost, and kind of figuring things out for myself, figuring like my like relationship with God is important to me. Now, I'm not perfect at all. And am I doing everything that I need to do to help my relationship? No. But I know that that is
Mm-hmm.
important. And I need to foster that relationship like I would do any other relationship with people that I have on earth and people that I can see.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's a big one. Just build your own personal relationship with God. Not what somebody tell you, not what you, not nothing. Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my number 17.
Okay.
What's your
My
next?
number 18 is enjoying your life, like enjoying your surroundings. Because I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if y'all saw that video when LeBron shot that, like, what shot he make? His career high where he beat Kareem Abdul, what's his name?
Yeah.
Jabbar. When he made that, if you look at that picture, how many people had their cell phones up to get that, like to get that picture, which is like, all right now, y'all. live in the moment, like look at it, like you're looking through a historical moment through your cell phone. Like,
Mhm.
come on now. Like, I'm still like I'm very much in like the present mind of like learning to be present in moments, like learning how to be present, like learning I don't need to have my phone out 24/7, which is a hard thing. Which like
Mhm.
we are a very much generation where like technology is literally right beside us, or like it's in our hand, or like it's literally like we have a smart TV, we have a smart you got everything is at your fingertips now.
Right.
So I just think now it's important that we kind of reconnect with ourselves and like just like literally enjoy our surroundings. Like when I went on my New York trip, that was a time of my life. All right. Now, granted, I don't take many pictures of myself, so I can't really speak for that. But I don't take many pictures of myself, which is I already know is the thing I need to work on to build my self confidence up more. But um I barely took pictures of where like I went and where I walked to, because just like literally you're walking in New York 24/7. There's like no you could hop on the
Mhm.
subway, you could hop in an Uber. Okay, that was pretty much it. But like I felt like when I was there, I was pretty much like a sponge. Like I like took in all the scenery. Like me and my friend when we were up there, we sat in Central Park for 2 hours watching a T-ball game. Like there was
Mhm.
so much stuff going on around. Like I didn't need my phone at that moment. Like what am I doing on my cell phone? Like I don't need it. Like I remember the smells of walking past the pizza shops. I remember hearing like all these horns honking and like everything they describe on like TV of New York. It's pretty much it's literally it's so nice. And like I want to go back to
Mhm.
experience that again, because it's just like I was so disconnected from the world. Like I literally didn't even like I think the only people I kept in contact with that week was my family and you, because Deuce was getting ready to be born. So that was literally the only people I
Yeah.
had contact with. And like everybody knew I was in New York, but like I didn't call nobody. Like I was literally like, I'm up here living my life. Y'all have fun.
Right. I gotta
Like
literally text you at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
yes.
I
Y'all,
was like,
that
"Hey,
that
girl."
story is so funny. She's like, "Hey, girl, I need to see if I can find it. Hey, girl, so I'm in the hospital. I said, well, no, did you text me? You were in the hospital. Or you were hit. I
Mhm.
can't remember.
So what I did was just a sidebar. What I did was I was in triage, and my water
Hmm.
had broke, and I was at home, and I had to like they tell you like, oh, like your water break, that's okay, like wait a little bit, wait till you have contractions. But I had a condition to where I needed to, as soon as my water broke, like I needed to go to the hospital. Um so I that's what I did. And I was in
Uh
triage,
huh.
and I knew that I was gonna be admitted because like come on now, like my water just broke. I lost a lot of water, like a lot. And even though I wasn't dilated, I knew they was gonna probably I was induced halfway. It's kind of an induction, kind of not an induction.
Girl,
But I was
I
like, I need to text everybody right now because I have no idea what is gonna happen to me in the next couple
you
hours.
definitely
And so
did.
I was literally was texting everybody, and I was like, I don't know if people even gonna respond because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. But I'm just gonna text
You did.
everybody and tell
I
everybody.
found it. You said, "Girl, I want to let you know I've been to the hospital. My water broke." I said,
Yes,
"Okay, girl, yeah." And
I
then you
think
had the nerve, huh?
yes, I remember because I was like, at first when I first got there, I wasn't admitted yet, and then when they told me I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna be admitted, that's when I text everybody.
Mm-hmm. I think I texted her back the next morning. I was like, "Oh my gosh, yay!" And then y'all, she had the nerve to text me back, talking about some girl. I texted her back in all caps. Did you have the baby? You said, "LOL, no." I was like, "What you mean, LOL, no?" I guess we Facetime after that because we said you said no where you had us in a hotel room, so I guess we Facetime.
Girl,
And
my
then
mom is they just did too much.
it
My
was
mom,
so funny. Oh, I need to
my
say
mom was
that.
like, "Did you FaceTime, Lord? We got a FaceTime, Lord. Did you take?" I was like, Mom,
Yo,
Mom.
that when I tell y'all, I remember that whole entire like that the whole entire thing, because me and my friend had just went up to go. We went not the I can't think. Is it the Empire? We on the Empire State Building tour. If you have not been to New York, please take that. They're like, oh, a lot of Americans like they don't like a lot of American tourists don't come up here, and I'm like, are you serious? Like that was stupid. We took the tour going up. It was the best thing. We had just got down, and then all of a sudden I get a call, and it's Diddy.
I'm
Holding
just
Deuce.
laying
I'm
there.
like, just laying there. She's like, you literally said, he's here. This is him. I said, oh, you had him. And I don't even know what we said. I was like, look at him. I said, he's here. You said, yeah, I gotta go. My dad called. I said, okay, bye.
Uh, I'm gonna do it. We can do. Yeah, we have so many story times we can do. I'm ready to do a story time on my later because I thought I was a goner. That's why I was like that and I was tired. But yeah, back
Mhm.
back to the list.
Girl, I'm
But
sorry. That was
yeah,
funny.
I agree. Like living in the moment. Like I'm trying to learn how to live in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but also too is to like make sure I am capturing those memories. I think for me that
Uh-huh.
kind of started when I had Deuce because like everything is crazy how like a baby is born and they don't know anything and they haven't experienced anything. So every time we go somewhere new, like
Uh-huh.
he's about to be one, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm gonna cry out. He's about to
Girl.
be one. His first birthday is coming up, so like
Mm-hmm.
everything that he experiences as new, like I want to capture. And then also I will say I have been in situations, I have been places, I have seen things, I have done things where I just lived in the moment too much, and then after the fact I'm like, darn, I should have took a picture, or like darn, I should have recorded it. So it's like a 50-50. It's like yes, live in the moment because we are a like people that is like into our phones. And I will say
Uh-huh.
when I'm somewhere like having fun, like we went to the beach last summer, and obviously it was Lucy's first time at the beach. Like I wasn't really concerned with my phone. Like I was just kind of there, like living in the moment, like seeing the ocean. But I did end up capturing some memories there too. But I wasn't really on my phone. Like when I'm out, like I'm traveling or I'm doing anything out, I don't tend to be on my phone that much. But I think that's very important. Like because you don't get those memories and those experiences back after you do things. So I
Uh-huh.
think yeah, living in the moment is pretty big. Yeah, I like that one. Um,
Girl, look at the I'm sorry. I went back and I was looking at all the little pictures and videos you sent me of him.
it's like he's gonna be one. Like
He
I
really
cannot.
is. It's crazy. And like literally this weekend was like your baby shower last year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my
I'm
baby
like, oh
shower,
my
a whole nother.
gosh.
That's a whole nother situation. That made me
Girl.
emotional. That made me emotional. I don't want to talk. I ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it. Okay.
Girl. It's
to
yours.
ugh, ugh. But I loved my baby shower,
Mhm.
y'all. It's just some things I cried on the day of my baby shower. I ain't even gonna get into
We
it.
ain't gonna get into it. We ain't gonna get into it.
I ain't gonna get into it. But yeah. So my next one, which is number 19 on our list. Wait.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, 19. Oh Lord, I can't.
It's your last one. See, it says number
Yes.
10 for you.
Yes, I know now. Okay. Okay, it's late. It's late, y'all. We tired. So number 10. I mean, number 19 for me
19.
is that you do not have to have it all figured out. Now, this is
Mhm.
something that I have kind of been dealing with and kind of going through the last couple of months or so. And I have to like sometimes stop myself from kind of overanalyzing things and overthinking and comparing, like all that goes into it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just 25. I do not have to have
Mhm.
things all figured out. And then I kind of think back to like what my parents were doing when they were my age.
Mhm.
And I'm like, bro, I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, I'm like, oh, I need to buy a house. I need to do this. I need to do that. I want to buy this. I need to have this. And I was like, no, I don't actually. I don't have to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life today. I don't have to figure out everything, every little part of my life today. Like, I need to learn how to go through the motions, go through what my life currently is. Obviously, strive for those things, go for the goals that I have. But at the end of the
Mhm.
day, like, I'm not going to have it all figured out. Like, I'm so young and I be thinking I feel like 35, but
I'm
I'm really
35.
25. And y'all, it's some people that are 25 that are still in undergrad. It's people that are
Mhm.
25 that are still like they still don't even know what they want to do 100%. Like it's like you can be at so many different parts of your life at this age and we still so young. Like, you know what really puts it in perspective for me?
What?
that we graduated when we were 22 years old.
Girl,
I'm
I
just
realized I started
25.
my first job when I was 22. And I
I'm
realized when I
like,
was teaching kids, I had a kid in my class that was 18 years old. She was older than my sister at that point.
I was like,
I said, we're too close in age. This is not
I was,
okay.
I was like, bro, it, I graduated college at 22. I'm
Uh
just
huh.
finna turn 26, and I'm not even 26 yet. I got a couple more months. Time 26, like that's 2 or 3 years. Like, well, four almost. Wait, no, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, 4 years, 3 or 4 years, however you look at it.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I need to realize that I do not have to have life all figured out today. Like, things in life are gonna change. Like, your goals can change too. Like, once you really get into
Yep.
life, you like, I don't think I want to do that anymore. Like I thought I was. Like, you don't gotta have it all figured out. You're not gonna have it all figured out. Things are constantly changing.
Yep.
You don't know what life for you is gonna look like 2 3 years from now. You can't plan out every aspect of your life. It's not gonna work like that. And you can try if you want to, but
Yep.
still, I mean, still have your goals, still have your plans, but know like you might have to at some point pivot, and you might
Yep.
have to change some things. You might be like, I don't want that no more. Like,
Mm-mm.
I don't want that. So that's kind of like that's my last one on the list for me. Like, you do not have to
Mm-hmm.
have it all figured out. Like, keep working, keep going. You gonna figure your life out eventually.
I feel like we both ended on like a solid note. Mine is number 20, y'all. We're at the end of the list. Hmm. But like I said before, y'all, if y'all have anything to add that we forgot or that you feel like that you want us to divulge on more, go ahead and put it in our DM. We'll talk about it, add it to our list. Maybe you do a part 3. We have enough people comment on it. We can, really talk about it, really get into it. But my last thing that I have is don't deny the gift that you have, because I keep seeing
Mhm.
like a lot of people are like, oh, like they'll say something on social media, like, I'm really good at this, but I don't think nobody would buy this from me. Like, how do
Mhm.
you know if you've never put your gift out there?
Literally.
Like you can't say that if you don't use your gift.
Mhm.
Like you got a whole gift and you have it sitting on the shelf for what? I believe, I know for a fact it is a scripture in the Bible. And do you know what I'm talking
Okay.
about? It is a
Say it
scripture in the
again.
Bible. The scripture in the Bible, I can't think of it. It's about I think God giving the gift to somebody. It was like one person, I forget the whole entire thing, but one person took his talent and hid it. The other person used half of it and then hid the rest. And the
The
final
gold.
person,
It's the
what
gold
is
or
it?
something.
Something,
It's
and
the
they hid
story.
it. I
It's the
can't
story about
remember it.
the. I think the king or something gave three
Gave
men
it.
some gold or something, and he told them to do
Yeah,
something, and one man did this. Yeah,
hid it.
yeah.
One man hid it. One man used half of it and hid the rest, and the other guy went out and used it. And
Mhm.
he ultimately was more successful than both the other guys. So, like, why are
Mhm.
you hiding your gift? Like, why
Mhm.
are you hiding your gift when you got a good gift? Like, your gift could be something so simple. Like, it could literally be you know how to draw. Like, you're good. You're a good people person. Not everybody is a people
Yeah.
person. Okay, that is
Yeah.
not people's gifts. Like, it is a gift that you are a people person. Like, you have a good broadcasting voice. You got a good, like, there's things you can do. All right, not
Mhm.
you can't. I hate when people say that they're not talented at something, because you're talented. You're talented at anything you set your mind to. You just gotta
Yeah.
figure out what your gift is and operate in your gift, and not operate outside of your gift.
That's the word. That's the word right there.
Hmm.
That is the truth though. That is literally the truth because like I think like you said everybody has a gift. Everybody God gave something to everybody and everybody's gift is not the same. But when
Nope.
you don't use your gift cuz I'm so guilty of this like this is why that last point like this last one is
Hmm.
really for me because I always feel like that I have so much that I can give out to the world like I'm so creative and I have so many passions, so many things I would love to do. Like
Uh
my
huh.
when I first went to college in 20 what 15,
Yep.
I had a plan that I was going to go to college and I was going to major in journalism and that I was going to move to New York and I wanted to be a host on 106 Park
Mhm.
because I love pop culture. I love music. Like, you know that.
Mhm.
Like, I love
Girl,
all that stuff.
that was your thing all the way up until like senior year, y'all.
Like, it, that was what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to do be in entertainment somehow. Like, I wanted to either write for a magazine, like, because I know 106 Park literally freaking went off air, I think, our
Uh
senior
huh.
year of high school.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, that's okay. I still,
You
like,
still want to go to New York? Like,
like for me, this stuff, this goes so far back to like when I was in elementary school, middle school. Like when Michael Jackson died, right, y'all? It was in what 2009. We were in like sixth or seventh grade.
yes, it was like
Um,
the summer of it. I can't remember. I just remember
yeah,
his songs being on the radio all day and all night.
yes,
That's all I remember.
like when I was in elementary school stuff, I had interest in it and whatever was current at the moment. But in middle school, early middle school, I like decided that I was gonna write biographies of celebrities. This is so embarrassing. So what I did was I every time I would go to my dad's house on the weekend because my dad's house has always been like my fun house. Like, yeah, period. Yeah, yeah, y'all. My parents not together. So I
Oh.
don't think we ever talked about our family dynamic. But my parents are not together. So I would go with my dad every other weekend. So when I went with my dad,
Mhm.
I would like go on his computer, and I'm also his only child too. So I would go on his computer and I would go to Wikipedia and other sites and I would type in celebrities and I would write down all of their information like their birthdays, um, movies they're in, albums they're in, like who they're related to, all that stuff. And I made like a book about it and I compiled like a whole list of people and I was like, this is, I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna make a book and I'm gonna sell it so everybody that like likes pop culture and likes to know about celebrities, they can like read it or whatever. So my love for that type of stuff goes so far back. And like Lauren said, like that was my goal and my passion up until we graduated. As y'all know, like we keep saying, when we graduated, the pandemic hit about 6 or 7 months later. I was trying to get jobs in like entertainment and with writing, broadcast, whatever it was, I was trying and it was just not working. And the pandemic hit, and I started working at a school actually, and that's kind of where I was for the first 2 years after we graduated. And then I went into freelancing, and I lost what I wanted to do initially. And
Mhm.
it did not take me until now, this last year,
Mhm. To pick
um,
back up.
to pick it back up and to really, do it. Like I don't be saying stuff like this to boost myself up, but I low key say it to boost myself up to make myself more confident and know like
Uh
I
huh.
try to tell myself positive affirmations and reassure my own self that I know that I'm good at these things. Like this is something I'm good at. If y'all was to
Yeah.
be, Lauren knows this. I was one of the top students in my journalism program in school. Like my
Uh huh.
peers would hate my professors because they thought the professors would pull their writings and everything apart. My professors, I literally my last semester I made straight A's. Now I did have some A minuses because my teachers always, you remember that one teacher that always gave me an A minus.
You can never get A
Like,
plus.
right, I was like, bro, come on. So, you know, this is what I love to do. And like with our podcast, I'm able to do this more. And y'all know, like I said about my YouTube channel and stuff, I be wanting to do more with that. And I just, consistency, life. So now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I want to use my gift. I want to use the thing that the Lord gives me. Like, I do feel like that with my voice, with my writings, with the content that I create, I can touch people's lives in a way. I can help people because I've had people that I listen to, podcasts, YouTube videos, blog posts, books that have really just touched me and just helped me overall, like people that I like to follow on like social media and stuff. So I was like, I can be that type of person for somebody else. And I think that I have been holding my own self back. Of course I have. Like I've been holding myself back. And I told myself in 2023, we're not doing that
Uh
no more.
huh.
We're going full throttle, and I have been for the most part. I have, kind of take a step back from my YouTube channel right now because um I just have a lot. I'm trying to figure out now. Like y'all know, I'm a new
Uh-huh.
mom, so trying to keep up with my son at this point,
It's a lot.
it's a
Little
lot. So
Deucey.
I'm trying to figure like my life out and trying to get back on track and go back to where I was. Like go back to that 18-year-old in it. Though
Uh-huh.
that
That
ambitious
same drive, yeah.
passion I had, that unstoppable, like
Uh-huh.
nobody was stopping me from my goals. Like nobody. Nothing or no one. And life hit me, y'all. Like it's a learning process though. That's why we say like this is things that we've learned. Like things that we learn, things that we're learning, things that we're currently
Yep.
going through to kind of get to the next the next phase in our life. So yeah,
Yep.
I like that one. I think that's the best one.
See, look,
That's the
girl,
best one.
we tried. But yeah, like I said before, y'all, if y'all got anything to add to this list, if y'all want us to do some more thoughts, feelings, otherwise, you think that maybe we glossed over one too much and want us to do like a whole podcast about it, DM us. Let us know. You know,
Yes.
give us
We
some
love talking
feedback.
about this stuff, y'all. We love it. We literally love it. But we hope that you guys enjoyed part one. We hope
And
that you
part
enjoyed part
two.
two. This is our first time doing episodes in parts because y'all, we was talking and we was hitting that mark, and we was like, bro, we not gonna be.
I
This
think
one's
we
a
were looking at each other. Lot less. This one's a lot less, y'all.
right.
If we was
This
looking
one
at
is
each
a
other like, girl,
right. This one is a
girl,
whole hour. The other one was an hour and 17 minutes. Like,
yes, like I don't know what we was doing. But anyways, y'all, be sure to share this podcast with your friends and family and leave us a review. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you got any questions, comments, or concern, please visit one of our socials and we'll be sure to get to y'all. Have a blessed
period.
week and we'll see y'all next time.
Period.